Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the HNATUY Hero-X collection, which is I think their newest collection. And if you look at the brand, they've been doing a lot of traditionally looking watches, and then out of the blue, this crazy thing comes out, and it is crazy. I'll be talking about the design, quality, and show you a bit of wrist shots. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Design wise, there's one word for this: crazy. It's I've chosen the black cased version with the rose gold and metal accents, which is even stranger look. They do have a full metal one with blue accents, which I find to be a bit more traditional, and even then still crazy. The fact that the indices are not all there is also a crazy design element. The big X with the skeleton movement behind is also very interesting. Overall, um, I get a lot of Bell and Ross vibes with this, mainly because we have this strap which also extends out after the lugs. We got the square case. They usually also have these screws here and the round bezel. So a lot of Bell and Ross vibes with this, but just vibes. We're not looking at an homage watch at all. This is crazy. So yeah, the case has a lot of different interesting angles going in and out here. Just a lot of things to look at. The bezel is interesting too because we have an inner and outer circle in the fake rose gold polished, and then we have this little insert in the middle with indices here. You can see 60, 45, 15, and 30. And those markers are raised, and then the background is bead blasted, which is interesting as well. The dial design is even more crazier. They've basically just chosen to have three hour indices and then three minute markers as well, which is quite interesting. And now I can read the time pretty easily on this, but still, this dark blue and orange fits quite well together, I would say. And then if we look at the movement here, there's a few brushed and polished elements. It's very nice to look at. Nothing crazy, nothing luxurious, but for the price, I would say it's quite an interesting buy. One thing to note that's interesting with this movement is the other side. The movement is, let's see here, it's completely blacked out. Let's see if I can, let me just get that nice and clean. Look at that. So that's a really interesting thing I've never seen before. And one thing to note is that every single piece of this movement has two sides. One of them is blacked out, the other one isn't. That is pretty interesting. I don't know how much effort that requires. Maybe it's machine wise, but that's quite an interesting design elements. And I love that they just blacked it out. It's hard to see the movement, but it's also open case bag. It's kind of a FU to open case bags in a weird way, which I like. I really, really like. So overall, crazy design, crazy, funky, sporty design with Bell and Ross vibes. So yeah, let's talk about quality. I think these watches go for around $200-300 US, and I feel like you're getting a lot for your money here. First of all, the finishing of the case. I mean, these angles are sharp, but not too sharp. I don't feel any machining on them. I do like the sharpness on these kind of cases. The details here on the little screws here in the case here as well have a nice little notched detail. The bezel as well, the inner and outer circle are very well polished, I would say. And the raised markers as well, very well polished, plays well in the light. The crown here, the grenade style crown, is well finished. It's got let's see here, it's got a nice grip when you unwind it. The threading is a bit crunchy but even, and nice. The movement features hacking here and pretty easy to operate, and nicely screwed in as well. Nice to screw in as well. So overall, that aspect is quite nice. Let's take a closer look at the dial here. See if I can get a nice. There we are. Look at you. So dial-wise, the first thing we actually catch with our eye is the dark blue and orange indices, and it's like a matte plastic feel here. It's got a lot of depth. Nothing extraordinary here in terms of quality and finishing. It's really hard to note. I think it's probably stamped and printed. The hands, however, have pretty good finishing. We can catch it here. They have this angular in the angle in the middle, just like Omega Seamaster hands, which means it's like a broadsword kind of shape. And it's quite crisp. I would say if you can see how the light catches that, you can see that little crisp angle here. So overall, the finishing of the hands, quite good. And the color on the second hand as well, quite well done. When it comes to the movement we see in the back, nothing special in terms of finishing. Some parts are polished, they look okay. Some parts are brushed. It's kind of a cheap brushing, but I still enjoy looking at it. And one thing I've noticed with this watch, which really blew me away, is the AR coating on the crystal is quite good. It gives it a little bit of an extra luxury touch, in my opinion. Um, the anti-reflective coating only reflects back blue light. It might be a little bit hard to see inside here, but it reminds me of my Breitlings that also just reflect blue light. So quite happy with that, and I think it's really a good thing they did that when you have such amounts of details on the watch, looking at all these different movement elements. So quite happy, especially for the price. We have to consider the price. When it comes to the strap here, it's a thick leather strap, nothing extraordinary as well, but it is thick but also supple. So I actually liked wearing this. This is quite comfortable. I will show a wrist shot later. And as we look at the buckle, it's pretty much a generic buckle. Nothing special here. Again, the fact this looks like very much a custom strap is already interesting for the price point. And then we have all these other elements that add up to a pretty well-made watch for the money, I would say. Now, when it comes to the quality of the actual movement, let's take it a little bit step back here. When it comes to the actual quality of the movement, it's a Seagull skeletonized movement. I don't know if it's custom because of this black side, but what I do know is Seagull movements, the Chinese movements have been increasing in quality over the years. Now, the big issue with the Chinese movements from Seagull especially is they will come out and some of them will not work out the box. But those that do work out the box have known to work quite well. So the question is, have this been regulated in Europe? And if this has been tested and regulated or just tested well and it works after a month or two, then you're fine. But some of these might break after the first month under the warranty period. So you should be safe. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Seagull movements at all, especially if you want to enjoy these kind of watches at a lower price point. Feel free to do so. But they're not worth repairing and servicing, and they're probably not worth replacing as well. So it's made, especially if it's a custom movement for this brand. So, but yeah, overall for the price point, you're getting a lot for your money, I feel, and a very unique watch. Now let's pop this on the wrist. I'm gonna do a little wrist check here just to show off. I'm wearing my Breitling Navitimer 92, lovely watch there. Let's just pop this on the wrist, show you guys how it looks. So, see here. So my wrists are 17 centimeters in circumference. I don't know what that is in inches. You can do the math at home. A little slightly above, I think, male wrist size. And it's got a lot of wrist presence on my wrist. But it's not uncomfortable. The strap here, even though it's thick, it's very supple and it's very soft. The undercase here as well has soft. The angles here were not sharp. So when we look at the crown guards and the crown, even though it touches here, it doesn't leave a mark. It's not too sharp. So pretty much a very comfortable watch. And for this kind of price point and automatic movement, we're still getting a quite thin watch here. So overall, the width here is 45 millimeters. And if we look at the height, it's around, I think it was around, including the case back and the crystal, we're looking at, I think it was 18 millimeters. So maybe less actually. So quite a thin watch. Which it has to be for this. When it's this wide, you kind of want a thin watch. Otherwise, you're going wrong with something. It's going to look too bulky. And I kind of like the looks of it. And yeah, I think overall conclusion for this watch is it's crazy. It's not for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But those who like this kind of design, I think you'll be quite pleased with this. It's quite a fun watch if you don't want to be taken too seriously and you like to watch movements take away and not really care about the time at all. So yeah, a thumbs up for me from HNATUY Hero-X. And if you want to see more close-up shots of this watch and loom shots as well, please visit hypenstyle.fr. I write in English and French. I'll put a link in the description. And if you like this video, it's unscripted. I know there's not a big budget, but I just want to get them out there and support my blog with a little bit of video material for those who doesn't want to read. So if you liked it, please subscribe and like and comment. And yeah, have a great day.